Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. Nahmaduhu wa nusalli ala Rasulil Kareem. Amma ba'd. First of all, good morning, everybody. On behalf of UF Chamber of Commerce, I would like to welcome you all to our first series of Expert Talk series. As you all know, that we commence our sessions by invoking the blessings from the Almighty. And to do so, I request Brother Nadeem to recite few verses from the Holy Quran, post which we will commence the session. Over to you, Nadeem bhai.
أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم الحمد لله رب العالمين الرحمن الرحيم مالك يوم الدين إياك نعبد وإياك نستعين اهدنا الصراط المستقيم صراط الذين أنعمت عليهم غير المغضوب عليهم ولا الضالين آمين صدق الله العظيم.
Jazakallah khairan. Thanks a lot, Nadeem bhai. May Allah shower His blessings on all of us. Now I may request our Director General Habib Sir just to share a couple of words before we could go to the session. Over to you, sir.
Yeah, Assalamu alaikum and good morning once again to all of you. Very nice to see you all here. Just last week, last Saturday, we had our annual general body meeting, the 40th of UEF Society and the 6th of Chamber of Commerce. It was very well attended and it was very enlightening session. We had Reverend Father Casper, who really enthused the entire audience, and it was very inspirational, I should say, and many interesting ideas came about in that meeting. And in UEF, we think we're trying to level best to connect with all members with a lot of programs and a lot of sessions like this, expert talk like what we have today. And I'm also glad to say that yesterday we had this JICA, Japan investment firm. It was in Chennai, and our team, it was facilitated by the UEF for all the arrangements. So many works has been happening. We want every member to be part of it, get benefited, and make the best use of it. It's all about the learning, and networking is the prime focus of our chamber. And I'm glad people like Rehanna has got a very good expert speaker today. And I'm sure without taking much of the time, let's listen to the the marketing advice and the strategy session from Karen. So that's it, and I hope you'll all feel this session will be more useful. And please feel free to reach out for any suggestions like this, any other good speakers we come across. Please share it to the office, and we will ensure we will have more sessions like that. So with that, I conclude this, and over to you, Sharif.
Thanks a lot for your lovely words, sir, and giving an update of what we have been doing for the last 1 month. Now, coming back to this session, in fact, I still remember in the recent past, we had certain interaction with our members, and they were suggesting, in fact, why don't we have expert talk where we invite experts and request them to share their expertise. And in fact, I still remember there were a number of topics. Somebody said effective use of social media. Somebody was saying how effectively we can use LinkedIn. And somebody was talking about blockchain. Somebody was talking about cryptocurrency. And finally, we said the first topic should be how to market yourself. How important is communication all about? And this was one thing which we thought we will go ahead. And in fact, these sessions are basically to remind us all about our UEF vision. We all know our vision, but for good order's sake, I thought I will just mention it over here. UEF's vision is basically to emerge as a premium forum for enabling the backward community and society at large to become inspirational and formidable contributors to the nation and beyond through economic enhancement, social development, and more importantly, education. The word inspiration is very, very important. And to inspire our members, we do keep regular sessions like this. And, that's the reason we call up people and then ensure that continuous engagement. In fact, one of the inputs that we received was to have continuous engagement. And these are some of the activities through which we would like to have continuous engagement. As far as this session is concerned, before we go to the session, I wanted to just ask a small question to all the members, and maybe you can just share your responses in the chat box. We do have a lot of investment options. We have, real estate, share market, we have investment in gold, we have investment on various options. According to you, what do you think is the best investment option? If you can just share a little in the chat box, we will be really happy. So among the, I once again repeat, among the various investment options that we have, what do you think is the best investment option? Maybe a share market or a real estate or in fixed deposit or anything. So let me see the responses, if at all we have got. Yeah, somebody's saying real estate. Okay. Anybody else? Mutual funds. Wow. Solar plants. Okay. Right. We do get, okay. Share market is Hassan Maulana saying. Okay. So we are getting a lot of responses. Okay. Anybody else? Because what we are looking is something else. Right. Then we have somebody who's saying absolutely. This is exactly investment on ourselves is something which is very important. Request everybody to mute your electronic devices so that we have a free flow session. Nadeem bhai, if you can just mute others to ensure that we all have a free flow session. This is so true that we need to invest on ourselves. Stephen Covey, in his book 7 Habits of Highly Effective People, talks about this as the 7th habit, which is nothing but sharpening the saw. Investing on yourself, preserving the biggest resource that you have got, which is nothing but yourself. And today's session is all about sharpening your saw as entrepreneurs, how we can move towards that learning skill, which is the basis for all success. Now, the session today is going to be very simple. We have an international speaker who will speak for 30-40 minutes, post which we will have a Q&A for 15 minutes. And we have requested our international advisor to moderate this event because it's an expert talk series. We wanted to have an expert as a moderator. So Madam was, happily agreeing for that. Before I hand over this to Madam, I thought I will just give a short brief about our moderator, Rihanna Madam. As you all know, she's the first Indian-born woman to be the councillor of City Corporation of London, history of 950 years. She is basically a serial entrepreneur with ventures in IT, in consulting, in healthcare, in management, and in education, and the list goes on. In our US fraternity, she is familiar by the name Lady Superstar. So without further ado, I would like to hand over this session to Madam Rihanna so that she can take over and introduce our special guest. Over to you, Madam.
Thank you, Kaleem. That was really a bit too much early in the morning. So Assalamu alaikum, everyone, and good morning. Really lovely to see most of you all. And thanks for giving your Saturday morning and to listen to an inspiring expert session by my friend Karan. Karan is a very well-renowned business coach, and as Sharif just mentioned, that we need to constantly invest in ourselves, and I'm a very firm believer of that. And we tend to have an understanding that we know a lot of things, but in that, what is the what and what is the how? And especially after COVID, the challenges are quite manifold for entrepreneurs. And I think sessions like these can really help us do a kind of an MOT or a health check, like the way we do our health checks on a regular basis. So I think even we need to do such health checks in terms of our strategy, in terms of our approach, how we want to approach our customers, what is the message that we want to offer them, and how do we stay ahead of the competition, and how do we have continuous leads? So as an entrepreneur like yourselves, I had all these questions, and that's where I reached out to Karen, and she was kind enough to take me through her entire set of sessions, and she really made me think. And I think as entrepreneurs, we constantly are in that thinking mode to constantly think, how do we stand out, how do we be different? And of the many series of tools and classes that I undertook from her, I felt a marketing message was something quite very basic and fundamental. And I requested Karen to please share some insights into this and help us shape our thinking. And so without much further delay, I thought I'll just get the session started. But before that, Karen has several hats. Two key things which I look up to her is she's, of course, a well-reputed and well-respected business coach and mentor. She is a mentor at the Sussex Business School, and she's a member of the London Chamber of Commerce and Industry, where she mentors and advises over 6,000 members in the chamber. So I mean, we have an expert in marketing here, and I'm sure we all will be benefited from Karen's knowledge and tips and ideas, which will start make us think and how to stand out in the market, in this competitive market, especially after COVID. So on to you, Karen. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you for inviting me, and a special thanks to Sharif for organizing this. And as Rahana said, I'm a business mentor who specializes in marketing. And I know that many of you will have a very, very clear idea of what marketing is. And some of you may even have marketing departments. But I say I have a definition of marketing, and it is this. It's very simple. Marketing is simply the getting and keeping of clients. And we all know that if we don't have clients or customers, we don't have a business. So, and as Rahana said, we saw a lot of changes in COVID, and every business suddenly went online, and everything was very different. So what I do particularly, I help business owners create a very simple but effective marketing strategy. And there are so many elements to marketing, but one of them, which I'm quite passionate about, is what I call your core marketing message. And this is what I'd like to go over today. Now, whether you're a large company, whether you're working just on your own, whether you're an institution, I really hope that you're going to find this useful today. I think it's something that is always good to revisit, and I will give you many reasons for that. I mean, I see many websites every day of, as I say, huge organizations, small companies, and I can immediately tell whether a company has effective marketing in place. Now, I'm sure those of you who run educational establishments will agree with me that the best way to understand something is to do it. So this morning, I'm not just going to talk at you for the whole time. I'm going to take you through each step and then ask you to carry out a short exercise before we move on to the next one. So I hope you will enjoy that. And the purpose of this is that at the end, you will come away from this presentation having started to create or recreate your own marketing message. And as Rahana said, I'm very happy to take questions at the end. Now, if you'll bear with me 1 minute and I'll get my presentation up, because we know, am I able to share my screen? Is that all set up?
Yeah, you can.
Right. So here we are. How to create a marketing message that will attract your ideal clients, because this is what it's all about. And I'll start off by saying that of the 100 people who could see your marketing every day, only 3% will be in a position that will be ready to buy. They'll actually have their wallets out and they are wanting to buy your whatever it is you're offering. So what do you do with the other 97%? Well, you have to obviously attract people who want to buy, maybe now or in the future. But all the ones that are not ready, you have to nurture them so that they come to you when they are in that position to buy and not your competitors. Now, to illustrate this, first I'd like to tell you a little story. I'd like you to imagine a forest with 100 sleeping bears, big grizzly bears. But in those 100 bears, only 3 of them are hungry. Now, to find the hungry ones, what are you going to do? You can go around the forest with a big sharp stick and you can poke each of them. Well, you can imagine what would happen if you went around poking all the hungry, all the bears, sleeping bears. It wouldn't work very well. But if you were to put a pot of honey on the edge of the forest, and then when the bears awoke, the hungry ones would go to it when they wake up. Now, that is what we mean by marketing, where we want to encourage people to come and find us. Call it your core marketing message. You may have heard it called your positioning statement. That's a very popular term. It might be, a lot of people just call it my I help statement, or your pedestal statement. So what I do want to say to you, excuse me to those of you who, are very established, are very experienced, if you think that I'm telling you something that you already know, because I know we've got a very diverse range of businesses here. So I have to sort of try and speak to all of you. So what is it? Well, it is one of the marketing assets, but a very important one. And sometimes I say it's a little bit like your condensed elevator pitch. It's one sentence that explains what you offer. And I really believe that all your marketing hangs from this. It's so important. I mean, I am a business mentor and I love marketing. It's what I specialize in. So if I was to say to you that my positioning statement or my core marketing message is this: I help entrepreneurs overwhelmed by marketing to create a simple strategy that gains them a constant flow of clients. So why is it important? Well, first of all, and even those of you who have it already, and I urge you to go back and revisit it, because by doing this, you get clarity. You understand what it is that you do and why you do it. I mean, this is your vision and your purpose, and this is what every business really needs. And when you have this one sentence and you're using it, then everybody else gets clarity. They can see, they read it or they hear it, and immediately they understand. So it gets you in front of your target audience. And the other thing it does, it sets you apart. Now, as I say, I see a lot of websites, large companies, and we all know what people are like these days. They are busy. They're either busy or they're lazy. And when people land on websites, they do not have time to search. They are not going to search. They're not going to scroll through and click and click. I really remember very clearly, I was given a link. Well, I was going to speak to somebody, and obviously I went to check them out, and I went to see what company they worked with. And I landed on the website, and I think I had to click through to 3 different pages to suddenly realize what they did. They were an insurance company, a very large insurance company, but they hadn't done what I'm going to help you do today. I've been to networking meetings where the chief executive takes about 3 minutes to explain his company, and I still don't know what they do. So now some of you will have businesses I know that are very straightforward, maybe like real estate or garment manufacturing. But your marketing message is really what will set you apart from your competitors. So where is it used? Now, I'm finding I can't move the slide now. So let's try that. There it is. Okay, where is it used? Well, everywhere really. As I say, when you go networking, certainly on your website, any advertising that you do, any of your marketing material, whether that is flyers, leaflets, posters, anything that you put out there. Obviously in your social media, which I'll come on to. And you can even use it on your business cards. Now, what I have done with my business card is I have condensed it down to that last bit. And when I've got all my details on the back, it simply says, gaining you a constant flow of clients. So how do you create it? Well, this is what we're going to go on to. And I have what I call my 4W framework. I always think things need a method or a framework. And there are 4 elements in this one sentence. First of all, it's who your clients are. Then it's what they need. Then it's what you do. and it's what the result is. Now, first of all, we have to, because we always do, we have to put your customer first. And when
Sorry, Karen, to interrupt. I can't see the next slide, please. I think you haven't gone to the next slide.
Can you see how do you create it?
Yeah, that's the one which is there. I thought you were mentioning about the four.
No, this
Apologies.
is fine.
Okay, my apologies. Sure.
Sorry. So first of all, we have to really get inside our client's head. We really need to know them if we are going to serve them properly. And again, I remember one of my clients was a marketing agency. And I went on their website and I said, oh, this is all about you. This is not about your customers. And of course they went, oh, of course, we should know that. Well, of course they should. They're a marketing agency. So what I'm saying here is it has to be about your client or your customer, not about you. So a little note here, a little aside, I would say after this, go and have a look at your website. And on that home page, does it say we all the time? Or do you say you? Because very often I see companies say, oh, we are the best, but they don't say how they will help their customer. Right, so now we're going to make a start. So I hope you're all able to make notes. You've got your notebook out. So let's make a start on this.
Business. The Mohammed Naeem.
All right, so the first element is, who do you help? Who is your product or your service for? Now, I don't have time to go talking about niching. I'm sure most of you will know all about niching and your particular target markets, but you do need to get specific. Now, I must emphasize this. This is about marketing. So you can decide who you are going to market to. It doesn't mean that you cannot help other people. I'll give you a very quick example. A client, they had a beautiful venue and they obviously everybody could use that venue, but they decided to market just to couples who were getting married. Now, when they did that, it made all their marketing much easier. They understood that client. They went to wedding fairs. They really marketed to just that specific market. But do you really think that nobody else went to them and said, oh, can we use this amazing venue for parties, for celebrations, for wedding anniversaries? Of course not. So please bear this in mind. This is about your marketing. Now, you may decide, of course, that you will have a particular niche. So, for instance, you might be in the travel industry. Now, do you want to really just work with young people who want to discover the world? Perhaps you want to specialize in families who are looking for a child-friendly holiday, or maybe older people for whom ease and convenience is important. So what we do with this message, we start with I help. Now this can change, obviously this can change. This is just a very basic framework to get you going this morning. You might end up saying we enable, we provide, whatever it is, but I would love you to try and be specific, even if you think you could help everyone. And I'm sure everyone can find a niche, unless you're a supermarket or corner store where everybody literally will walk in. Everybody can probably find a niche. And if you do this, I can also reassure you, you will never run out of clients. I have so many people say to me, but I can help, I help people with pain, for instance. And I say to them, find a niche. There was a client who said exactly that to me, and she ended up working with just young athletes. She never ran out of clients. You will never run out of clients doing this. Let's take a sleep expert. They could niche down too. Well, everybody says they perhaps want help with their sleep at times, but they focused on parents. What parents? Parents of young children, parents of toddlers, and then parents of toddlers who don't sleep. So that's just a quick example of how you can niche down. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to give you 2 minutes, and I would love you to literally sit down and with your pen and paper And write down, get really deep on this, because it's always worth revisiting. Who do you help? Who do you supply? Who do you work with? Who is your ideal customer? So I will stop this for 2 minutes, if that is all right, and I will let you do that. Some of you will find this really easy. Some of you will think, I haven't really thought about that for a while. Okay, now the next one is, what is their problem? Or what do they need? What are they looking for? Now here we need to think about what is important to them, because as I said, it's all about the client. And it's not always what you think. In fact, some of times it may be a feeling which would surprise you. As I said in my core marketing message, mine are overwhelmed. They are overwhelmed by all the marketing possibilities, all the different elements. They know that they can be doing newsletters and blogs, and there's websites and social media. They often don't know where to start, or they don't know what is going to work right for them. They are overwhelmed. So that is why I use that phrase in my message. So even if you are a huge company and you may be carrying out large building projects, what do your clients really want? Do they want something built that gives them status, or something that helps the community? Do they want to leave behind a legacy? Maybe they're looking for the most innovative products or the fastest build. And if you're a manufacturer, are your potential customers looking for the best quality or the quickest production? Maybe it's reliability, and they're looking for a company that they can trust to deliver. So you need to find out what the problem is, or what the challenge, or what it is that they are specifically looking for. Now, I would say here, use your client's language, not yours. Now, it's very easy for us to slip in to use our own industry jargon. Everybody does it. It's just something we just do. So the best thing to do is research, is ask. You can talk to customers, you can talk to people you know, whether they've been past clients, people you want to work with. Ask them about what it is that they want. What are they looking for? What do they need? What would make their life better? What would help their business? And then listen very carefully. What words and phrases do they use? Don't assume, because when you do this, if you find out the words and phrases that they are using, you can use them in all sorts of your marketing, not just this. So as I say, use your client's language, not yours, not your industry jargon. Now, just an extra note here as well. If you don't have your client's language as your first language, make sure that everything reads correctly in your marketing. Now, you can get a great translator, we can all do that, but then it's always a good idea to get somebody who's actually born into that language to check it for you. The translator will say, right, there you are, I've done a great job, that's all fine, that's perfect. But you may well find that somebody who's actually, it is their first language, they will look at it and it still won't read quite right. I do see this on various websites around the world, and even large companies that have the budget to do this. So if you're not sure, reach out to me, I can always help you with that. So this second element is, what is it that they are looking for? What are they searching for? What's the problem? And as I say, it may well be a feeling. So I'm going to give you 2 to 3 minutes on this, because this is a little bit more tricky. And I'm going to ask you to now write down, what is it that your customer is actually searching for, looking for? What is it? What's going on in their head? What are they thinking? What are they feeling? And really try and work this. This is where, as I say, we're really trying to get inside your customer's head. And this is the basis of good marketing. As I say, it's not about us, it's about them. And when people out there see that you understand them, they're going to come to you. So I'm going to set my timer and let you do that. Right, so I wonder how that went for you. So let's move on to the third part. I said there were 3 elements. And the next one is, what do you offer? So what is it that you help them do? Now, this might seem very obvious at first, and something you immediately comes to mind, but actually, again, I would like you to think a bit more deeply about this. What are your services? Do you have a special methodology that sets you apart? But again, be careful with language, because don't use something that's too specific to your industry that you assume that people might know what you mean, because they won't always. What do your products provide? What sets them apart? How are they different? Do you help them create something like I do? If you remember in my marketing message, I said, I help them create a simple marketing strategy. So what is it that you do? And it is easier for service industries, I know this. If you are an educator, this is where you would briefly describe the types of courses you offer. So you might say something like, we enable ambitious graduates to expand their skills with our intensive bite-sized courses to, and I'll come on to the 4th bit. So again, this is perhaps a quick, well, that was a quick explanation, but it's not always so easy to succinctly describe what it is that you do. And this is what we need to do. Because if you start going into long-winded explanations, you're going to lose people. And this is a real challenge now to get this into just a couple, we're looking literally a couple of words. As I say, a whole university could, or could literally talk about intensive courses, or intensive impactful courses, or bite-sized courses. What is it that you do that is that you want to offer to your people? So again, I'm going to give you another couple of minutes here. And I do think this is perhaps the one in a sense that's the most challenging, because you're all used to talking a lot about your business, saying what it is that you do, all the different explanations, the different services you provide. But how can you bring that right down into a very concentrated phrase? I'll set my timer again. I'd love to be a fly on the wall in all these different rooms and see what people are writing for now, but we're going to bring it all together at the end. Right, I really wish I could give you more time this morning, but obviously, I'd love you to go away and work on this, and I'll talk about this later. So now we come to the 4th element, and this is, what is the result? Now you must state the result. It is the most important thing, and it's the most missed out. I'm always finding this. Whenever you make a statement in your marketing, not just this particular message, people need to think, what's in it? What's in it for my customer? Because that is what your customer will be thinking. There's a well-known phrase, WIFM, what's in it for me? People will look at your website, your marketing, and they'll go, well, what am I going to get out of this? How does this benefit me? Why should I care? So if we can use the little phrase, so that, after every sentence that we use, that will help you get the result. So again, going back to mine was, I help entrepreneurs overwhelmed by marketing create a simple marketing strategy. And the result is to gain a constant flow of clients. Now, I chose that because I know that that's what business owners are most concerned about. They don't want this feast or famine. They don't want to know that income is coming in one month and revenue drops in the next month. They want to feel that they've got everything set up, that their business is successful, so they literally have clients coming to them all the time, that constant flow. So this is why I chose that as the result. And this is what you need to do as well. Everybody needs to do this. I've seen so many examples. Just to give you one, was an accountant I worked with, and he said, I help small entrepreneurs, great, with the complexity of their financials and taxes. So what? Every accountant does that. We need to find the result. A good one I saw was I help photography business owners increase visibility and revenue through SMM and photo editing. Now, I've got no idea what SMM is, but I'm sure, photography business owners would know exactly what that is. And the result is sitting there: increase visibility and revenue. This is what we're looking for. So I'd love you to have a think about this. What is the result that you're providing? Even if you're selling garments or products, there will be something that that customer is going to get from doing business with you and not other people. This is why I say it sets you apart. And try not to use general words like success or confidence. What is that? It means so many different things to different people. Again, we want to try and be very descriptive and very specific. Do you remember when Twitter first started? We had to do everything in 140 characters. And my goodness, it really concentrated the mind, didn't it? I think it's a shame that that has gone. So this is what we are trying to do here. We are trying to choose words that really sum up those 4 elements. And we need to have a think. I'm going to give you the time again. So just make a note that then that the next element you must really do is having that result. Okay, so now we come on to let's actually create that marketing message. So you've got your 4W framework. As I say, who it is you help, what is it that they need, what do you do, and what is the result. We really have to make it impactful. So if you can imagine yourself walking into a group, into a room of people who you've never met before, and introducing yourself and your business. So you've seen the 4 elements to do, and I would love you to go away. As I say, Rahana says we have to cut it down a little bit. So please go back to this today. Don't go just back to your desks on Monday and forget all about it. You get that framework and then you can change it round. You can use different words. You can turn it into a question. Let's take the example of an IT company who have decided, oh, they're going to market to the medical industry. So they could come up with a sentence that says, we help the medical industry who feel overwhelmed create the most efficient IT systems so that they can gain time and focus on their patients. Or as I say, they could have a question. They could start off with a question. Are you a medic struggling with your IT systems? Our expertise will save you time, gain you knowledge, and enable you to focus on what matters most, your patients. So can you see how we can bring this all together and make one very impactful statement that people are going to see it or they hear it and they go, that's what I want. That's the company I need to go to. They understand me, they use my language, they know what I'm after, and that's the result that I'm looking for. This is how it works. So as I say, play with it. You won't get it perfect straight away, but at least you will have the framework. So you're probably asking, well, okay, how else can I use it? Well, now you have it. You can obviously, we've talked a little bit about the website. You need it on your banner on that home page. As I said before, as soon as people hit your website, they need to know exactly what it is that you do and if they're in the right place. If they don't, they're not going to search. They will just move on to somebody else. They'll move on to your competitor. People need to see exactly. So do they understand? Do they hit that home page and they go, yes, that's it. That's what I'm looking for. I'm in the right place. Let's find something more. So you're hooking them in. You're bringing them in to encourage them to read on. Another client I had who was actually a coach, and she had, I'm Mara, the expat coach for working mums. I support the multitasking professional achieve her balance so she feels focused, calm, and confident. Now, anyone landing on that website, if they were a professional parent living in a foreign country, trying to keep everything together, looking for some help, they would know that they were in the right place immediately. So where else would you use it? You'd use it on advertising and flyers. People want to see this, not the name. Okay. People want to see this message. They want to see that you understand them. They do not want to see the name of your business, your photo, or your logo. Now, certainly have those on, but when space is at a premium, maybe you're taking out a newspaper or a local magazine advert, please do not take up that precious space with the name of your business, your photo, or your logo. Have this marketing message. You can have it on business cards. If you contract it, like I did, you can have it on there. And networking. You now have one succinct sentence that tells people what you do, but it also piques their interest. Now, you can build on it to create your elevator speech, or for when you have just, if you're networking, very often these groups will ask you to stand up and talk for 1 minute. So you can expand it, but at least you have that framework now. Social media profile. You should have it on there. If you use LinkedIn, which I'm sure all of you do, then have it on your banner there. And you can use it actually to create content, social media content. This is just so useful. This is why I'm so passionate about it. You can take that marketing message, and whether it is you who's doing the content or you have a department or a person doing it for you, you can go to them and you say, I want you to build the content around these 4 elements. I want you to talk about the people that we want to serve. Describe them, use case studies, talk about projects that you're working on. I want you to talk about, have other posts that are about, what it is that they're looking for, problems, challenges, different clients that you've had. And then you can take the next element, which is what you do. Now, especially if you are in any sort of manufacturing, building, that sort of industry, you can make so much content out of simply what it is that you do. You can have, where your products are sourced from, who is involved, the whole supply chain. And then obviously the message, the result. You can use that to talk about, you'd have testimonials. So this one sentence with its 4 elements will give you enough inspiration and ideas for your social media content for the whole year. Now, as I say, this is just one of your marketing assets. I think it is a really important one, but there are lots of other important ones as well. So, but everything hangs from that. But you should also have these things set up. Obviously, a website. There are very few businesses that can function without a website. A website these days is your brochure. It's where people are going to go for further information. A lead magnet. I don't know if everybody knows what a lead magnet is, but it is something that you give away for free, that people will take it, and in return, they give you their contact details. Now, when you have their contact details, you can then be emailing them. And every business, even if you're a little cafe on the corner, everybody needs to be building up an email list. And then you need to be contacting and talking to those potential clients. Remember the 97%? You need to be talking to those people every week, So what else do we have? We have, you need to have a follow-up system in place. Obviously, we're all using social media these days. That is so important. But don't forget direct mail. This still has a place. This still has a place in marketing. And then there's advertising, obviously, and others. So when I say I help you create a marketing strategy, this is what it needs to do. It needs to do these three things. First of all, attracting the right people to your business. This is what the message will do. It'll call out to those people. And then the next step would be to actually engage them, keeping in contact with them, educating, entertaining them, selling to them, turning them into paying clients. And then the third thing is obviously retaining them. It's much easier to retain and get business out of a customer who's already bought from you than it is to go looking for new customers all the time. And then there are different ways of increasing the revenue from those customers. So those are the three elements. So this is what, as I say, I help clients create this strategy. Now, in lockdown, I created a course for businesses so that they could put all this in place, because every company, every business, large or small, you need a marketing strategy so that your business is able to gain clients and then to keep them. Now, Rahana mentioned that I set up the Entrepreneur's Marketing Blueprint course that she went through. And this enables companies to put everything into place, to really have a proper marketing plan. Now, the reason I will just quickly show you what I include in that is because this shows you what a strategy would consist of. So, first of all, before you start any marketing strategy, you need to decide, what do you want your business to look like? And how do you want to fit into your life? This is so important. We all start businesses because we want a particular lifestyle. So I would urge you to sit down and do that first. And then deciding your target marketing. Are you going to have a niche? How are you going to attract them? And then deciding in all those elements of marketing that I mentioned, which particular method are you going to use? You don't have to do everything. This is why I say it has to be simple and effective. Some marketing methods will work very well for you. Others you can just forget. And then how to effectively use social media, because we all have to do that these days. The lead magnet I mentioned, we all need that. And you need to create a database. The database is those sleeping bears in the forest that may be in a position at some point to buy from you, do business with you. And we need to be using email and some direct marketing as well. And then the website I've talked about, you need the perfect client winning website. Everybody thinks their website is great. The person who designed it and done it tells them it's great. But there are certain things that you have to have to keep a person on your website so they learn about you. They learn to get to know you, trust you, like you, and then buy from you. And then how to follow up and to make sales easy. Very often businesses make it actually quite difficult to buy. And we want to make it easy for people. And then what you also need to do is to retain those clients, give them an extraordinary experience. I have an exercise I do with clients where I say, what would the best do? If you are a florist, what would the best florist in the world? If you are a hotel chain, what would the best hotel chain do? And then you need to increase your customer value. There is so many different ways to get your customer buying from you again and again. And of course, getting referrals. And then you bring it all together and you create that simple marketing strategy. So it's very simply, it's a course, it's an online course. You could complete in your own time. You could give it to somebody in your marketing department. You could form it for part of your training for younger staff or pupils. But I would just say that every business needs this effective marketing strategy in place. Oh, and people say to me, oh, but I don't have time, I'm so busy. So I always give an extra session in this and to clients on how to manage your time and actually how to grow a very effective very successful business in 90 minutes a day. I know a multimillionaire who uses this. So, for those who want more with elements around branding and sales funnels, etc., and personal mentoring with me, then there's also the program as well as the course. So I would just say thank you. Thank you so much for listening and for taking part. I hope this has shown you how important it is to have both a marketing strategy and a strong marketing message. So please, as I said, have a go at creating yours or going back and revisiting yours. Please make sure that it is on the homepage of your website. And I would just say, remember, you have to get the attention of those who will be perfect customers for you. And this is the first step towards that. So I'm here and I'm very happy to take any questions.
Thank you, Karen. Really very informative. Again, it was quite a brush-up session for myself as well. So I'm sure the participants here would have immensely benefited from your little tips and the process that we need to follow. So I have a few questions in mind, and I think Fahim, he runs his own digital marketing agency. So he came up with a very interesting question in terms of post-COVID. I think the question is on the chat box. Are you able to see the chat box, please?
I'm just having a look at that. Whoops, I'm just having a look at that now.
Even I suggest Fahim Bhai can unmute himself and then ask the question.
Yes,
So,
sorry, my cat has just jumped in. Yes, I think we have 5-10 minutes.
Okay, Karen, the question is right there. Thanks so much for the talk. Wonderful. The question is right there. I don't want to take up too much of members' time.
Right, I'm just scrolling down.
It's the one that says a dear
yes.
friend's business came crashing due to COVID.
Oh, right, because his niche was to serve hotels. He pivoted quickly and is now doing fine. Contrast this to my digital agency. We are industry agnostic, but I have to niche. I could say customer acquisition. We pretty much doubled our business. Isn't this risk of niching like COVID showed us? How can businesses overcome this? Yeah, I mean, COVID dealt a huge blow to a lot of us, didn't it? It really did. And I think, pivot became, well, it certainly did here, pivot became the sort of the name of the game. When I said about niching, as I said, we don't have to exclude everybody else as to who we serve. This could just be in our marketing. So it could be, and you could do this, is think, right, we're going to have a go at marketing to these particular people for the next 6 months. And then in 6 months' time, we could try and to the other audience. That is possible. Like I said, there was the lady, it was another client. Ranjit, he had an osteopathy clinic, and he obviously could help so many people with pain. Now, as I say, he decided to niche and market to a particular target audience, but that didn't stop other people going to him and saying, well, can you help me with my back? Does that help? Does that answer the question?
I think yes, Karen. Yes, thank you.
Okay. Oh, you have another question? Please throw it at me. I'm very happy to.
I'm good. There are plenty of members who have questions.
Okay.
Yeah. I think what the message I get here, I think perhaps maybe which will help you as well, Brother Fahim, is now you have specific targeted campaigns, I think, which we can just come out with different campaigns focusing on a regular basis. So maybe a monthly or a quarterly campaign, so that we just segment our markets. And then so that there is a continuous flow of a strategy that we could have. And of course, we can bring in different diverse clients to our business. So I think that's the message that I get with what Karen was trying to say here.
You can. As I said, I didn't really have time today to go into the whole niching business. There are lots of different ways to niche. But if you can find a target market, it just makes things a lot easier and simpler for you.
Got
Yeah.
it. So
And I think what I benefited here is it was more on the kind of like, because for me, one, I don't have the time with the kind of my diary schedule that I have. But for me, it really, the most important thing was the templates and the tools that I had in place, which helped me to really focus my thinking and just come with like, 1, 2, 3, 4 points and what is that me and my team need to do. So that's the kind of a takeaway that I had with Karen. So, but maybe fine by you were saying something. Sorry, I interrupted
sure,
you.
I'm good, but I think I would like to ask a little bit more pointed question, Karen. I don't know if this is English enough, but how do you serve customers and clients? It benefit a lot of our members in terms of if they have to reach out to you to pick your brain or use any of your services. It will be pretty helpful if you tell the members how you operate in terms of consulting and offering your services. That could actually benefit a lot of people here.
Oh, okay. Well, there's the course. As I say, there is the Entrepreneur's Marketing Blueprint course. It's a very simple course, an online course that anybody can take and would actually help you. I take you through step by step all those elements I said.
Fantastic.
And there is the program. So I take that course, but we expand it. I bring other experts in. There are different elements. It covers a lot more in depth. And there is online coaching from me. We have a call. I think it's twice a month, sometimes 3 times a month.
As part of this program, the entrepreneur program.
That's the program. That's the program. So the difference between the course and the program is bigger and has the element of say, coaching, mentoring from me. And then in some cases, but again, it's time, because this isn't all I do. I help a specific sector of coaches as well. But sometimes I do have private one-to-one clients as well. So really what I would say is, and I'm sure, if you reach out to the organization here, I'll put my email address in the chat.
Yes.
So please ask me any questions. Please do get back to me.
Yes.
Even if it's little things like, the various services I offer is things like looking at your website. Is it actually working in the sense that it should be? Is it drawing clients in? Is it like that marketing agency I said, I was working with them and we looked at theirs and they went, oh my goodness, we should have this right, but they didn't. So yes, if you have any questions, please just reach out to me.
The director and DG, is it possible that the UEF office can get the services, and if any costs or can circulate it with members? It can be very beneficial for members to quickly reach out.
Yes, fine. We will get in touch with them, understand what exactly it is, and then in turn we will also share it with you as desired.
Sorry, Fahim, are you saying that the questions can be directed to the UEF office and then we
No. I mean, everybody is here. They're free. They can feel free to ask. Karen's services, if UEF office can get it as an email, right? Because there are plenty of services Karen could offer the UEF members, right? And if we receive those services via email, right? Because pricing and everything could be there. It could just be, not so relevant for this meeting. I mean, it could also be awkward, right? To talk numbers. So if we receive that as an email, we can just circulate it amongst members, and whoever is interested could get back in touch with Karen.
Yeah, that's a good idea.
Yes, I mean, please, Sharif organized this, and I'm very, conscious that the UEF is here and has invited me. So, but yes, anything, please go to him. I can certainly put something together. There are many different things, whether it's short trainings, coming in, doing a Zoom presentation. Please just ask.
Fantastic. Thank you so much.
Sadis sir, would you like to seek anything, sir?
No, I think it was a great session. Thank you very much, for making a time for this. I think it's going to be very useful. I was thinking, like, by the way, Karen, I also mentor a business school. I'm the convener of a Miyasi Institute of Management. And I think whatever you shared here will be very useful for the faculty and the students who've taken the marketing, as their specialization. So, if, I mean, maybe one of these days, probably sometime, if you can spare some time for a guest lecture over Zoom, that'll be greatly appreciated.
Okay, thank you. Thank you. I'd love to.
Pick up, separately.
I would just like to share one of my learning from today's session is that in terms of marketing, it is not it is not me. It's all about you and the other side of it. You have to think about what is they're looking for, what is their pain points, what is their problem. As long as you think on the other side and speak only their language, not your language. In Tamil, they say, "Aadramada aadi karakkanum, paadramada paadi karakkanum." So this is what you need to do. Is my learning.
No, I think what's important is empathy. You need to let's say communicate what I would say from the listener's perspective, that rather than your perspective.
Absolutely.
You take away from this. I think Adnan has a question on the chat.
Yeah.
Assalamu alaikum. No, I didn't have a question. I just wanted to thank Karen for this lecture, what she gave, and it was just a refresher course, and felt like back in college days, how we used to listen to marketing lectures. Started applying once we came and started our businesses, but then sort of lost a few of those things on the way. So it was a good refresher, and I would like to thank Rehanna also for getting Karen on board to UEF and getting this lecture series done. Sorry about my voice. I have a sore throat, but I just wanted to thank everyone for this. Yeah, that's all.
Thank you. Thank you. Yeah, I think it is, if it has served as a refresher, that's great. My job is done. Because I think you're right. We all get on with I have a business. We all get on with our businesses. And there are certain things that just get sort of left, and we do need to go back to them and just revisit and make sure that everything is how it should be. Thank you for that.
Sure. Thank you very much. And I think we all had a good refresher. So, your comments, Brother Adnan, really, and this is what the point which I said, that it is all about refreshing and just ensuring that we don't miss out the little things that we think we know, but we always tend to miss out in our busy schedule and thinking business is something different we need to do. But whereas if we just follow the basics, I think we are back on track. So thank you, Karen, once again. And thank you everyone for participating. And if there's anything you need further help, you can please reach out to the UEF office, and I'm sure they would be able to help you all with. So my job is done here, just to get Karen introduced to you all. And from here, you all could take up. And I think it's been a great way of ending the year. And I'm sure we will be looking forward to the new year with many more different challenges, which we would love to serve our customers and see how we understand our customers well. And we make business, and of course, our bigger vision of 1.5x, which our UEF vision is, which our president always says. And I think we are really focused and targeted on achieving that 1.5x by having this sort of a thinking in our strategy and implementing it, so that we grow as a community to help not only within our community, but of course our nation, which is what the objective, which Sharif, you mentioned at the start of the session. So thank you everyone, and have a good weekend. And inshallah, we'll be in touch again. Yes, Fahim bhai, you had something to say, please.
There are so many Karen Burge and Burges on LinkedIn. Could you please drop your LinkedIn profile? Just too many of them.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah, I thought it's pretty cool.
Let me see. Bear with me. Let's see if I can get that for you. You're right. I think sometimes you have to take it directly from LinkedIn, don't you? Right. Bear with me.
Let me try to. Simple marketing strategies for business. Is that you?
Probably.
Yes.
Let me take that and I can put it in the chat.
Is this you?
There we go.
I think she just put that
Yeah.
on the
In
chat.
the chat. Yeah. Yes.
Thank
So
you
you
so
can
much.
see, you can see there straight away that I've used mine on my banner. So I hope that proves I walk the talk.
Absolutely.
And perhaps maybe we can just try to imitate the style and the structure that you've put on your LinkedIn page so that we could also update our pages.
Yes, it's
Perhaps
all
that was one of my question which I wanted to ask, but now we have a template, we just follow it, copy paste it.
Copycat marketing, very popular.
Actually,
Sure,
the
okay.
about section is actually, I'll give that away. You can use that template for your about section.
Thank you so much, Karen. Such a pleasure.
Thank you.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank
so
you,
much, Rana.
everyone.
Really appreciate it.
Thank
Thanks,
you.
everyone.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you. Bye-bye.